What if I told you that this hard seltzer and this double whiskey and soda are closer in alcohol content than you might think? Today I'll be answering the question of how much alcohol is in a cocktail. So in order to figure out the alcohol content of a mixed drink, you first need to figure out the volume of the glass that you're going to be using. I'm using this whiskey glass here, which I determined that the volume that we're going to fill it up to is 270 milliliters. And the way that I did that was by taking this shot glass and filling it up with water and seeing how many times this shot glass could fit into the whiskey glass. Now each shot equals 30 milliliters. So I figured out that 9 of those shots would fit in this glass and you could still move the drink around without spilling it. So now that we know the volume of our glass, let's add our 2 shots of whiskey, our 2 shots of soda, and then the rest of the room in the glass is going to be reserved for ice, so effectively water. Now we just gotta do a little bit of math, but here is the equation to figure out the ABV percentage, that's alcohol by volume. So if you're not good at math, don't worry, it's actually fairly simple and I'm gonna walk you through it. So you're going to take the milliliters of liquor used. We did 2 shots, that's 60 milliliters. Now you're gonna multiply that by the percentage. The percentage of alcohol in that whiskey is 40%, so that's gonna be represented as 0.4. And then we're going to divide that by the volume of this glass in milliliters, which is 270. And now to get it back to a percentage, we're going to multiply it by 100. That might have sounded like word vomit of a bunch of numbers, but really that is just 60 times 0.4 and then divided by 270 multiplied by 100 after that. And what we get is 8.9% is in this total drink. Now that's assuming if you finish this entire drink with the ice and all, but if you did it neat, so no ice, and it's just the 2 shots of whiskey, 2 shots of soda, then really the alcohol by volume percentage is 20%. Now this got me thinking, what's the ABV percentage in my favorite drink right now, which is using a tall glass and having a little bit of tequila, a lot of Costco margarita mix, which has alcohol in itself, and then also ice and a splash of water because I don't want it to be as sweet as it is. It gets a little bit more interesting now because now we're working with a cocktail that has more than one alcohol with different alcohol by volume percentages. So let's make it and figure it out. So the glass I'm going to be using has a volume of 420 milliliters, meaning 14 of these shot glasses can fit in it. So I'm going to throw in 1.5 shots of tequila, 5 shots of margarita mix, and then the rest is going to be reserved for water and then also a little bit of ice. So the equation that we're going to use to figure out a multiple alcohol cocktail is the exact same, except we will do the equation once for the tequila, once for the margarita mix, and then with our results, we will add them together. So let's do the tequila. So since we added 1.5 shots of tequila, that's 45 milliliters, and we're going to multiply that by the alcohol percentage of tequila, which is 40%, so 0.4. Now we're going to divide it by the volume of the glass, which was 420 milliliters, and then we're going to multiply that by 100, and we get 4.28%. So now let's do the margarita mix. We did 5 shots of margarita mix, that's 150 milliliters, and we're going to multiply it by its alcohol percentage, which is 12.7%. Then we're going to divide that by the volume of the glass, which again is 420 milliliters, and then multiply it by 100. And now what we get is 4.53%. Now when you add 4.28% and 4.53% together, you get about 8.8% alcohol by volume in this drink, which is actually less than the 50-50 whiskey soda, which kind of surprised me. And then also when you think about how this is only 8.8%, yet there's so much alcohol in there, and then you see the wine drinkers at the party who have a glass that's maybe this tall, but they're killing them quicker than you can count. Wine is high in alcohol. It often ranges from 11 to 15%, and normally you don't mix it with anything unless you're doing wine and Coke or sangria or something like that. So the next time one of your friends asks when you're gonna step it up from a seltzer to a mixed drink, maybe just send them this video so they can see that this isn't that much higher in alcohol content than this. I hope you guys enjoyed this video and learned something. If you did, leave me a thumbs up, comment what you thought down below, and then don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already. I'll see you in the next one.